Okay, first of all, with respect to my lecturer, and good morning to all my classmates and other participants. My name is Hamdan Lee, a Cambodian student and the master program in the academic year of 2021. Today is really such an honor to present the topic about dream of red mansion. So to save more time, I would like to jump to the first slide by starting from the content listed as about a Dream of the Red Mansion is the best well-known in China, written in the mid-18th century, with 3 main volumes and 120 chapters. Describe Mr. Zhao Xijin, or we can call him Chao Xijin, the author of this novel, raised in an aristocratic family. From his experience, he created a tragic love story in careful detail, the ups and downs of the four leading famous families: Chia, Shi, Wang, Jie. In short, it is mainly race, artistic appeal, and main part of the crisis and different kind of a lot of small part of social conflict. Okay, let's move on. On next slide, regarding the history background, this novel was written during the reign of Emperor Kang He or Yung Qinglong during the so-called Kangqian Golden Age. During this period, China was governed by Manchu aristocrats during their social turbulence for their own selfish ends and for consolidating their political position. Furthermore, this period, the vast of lands were annexed and concentrated in the hands of royal family, the aristocrats, the bureaucratic landlords, and big businessmen, while the peasants lost their lands and became the landlord tenants, and the social division became a terrible abyss. Even small landlords were often on the brink of bankruptcy. The author presented the four family in the period rooted in the real society and not a fiction. In addition, the racketeering and extortion flourished in this era. There were corrupt officials at every level. Yes, every level, and the usury and heavy levies from the landlords were so unfair and unbearable and caused peasants to take fearful gamble. As a result, they had no choice only to rise up in rebellion against their oppressors, in particular in Wuhan and Quechua provinces. The main character of the novel is Chia, Pao Yi, and Lin Tai Yi. Yeah, atypical of young people everywhere. They want to be free to marry whomever they wish. So the next slide, number 6, is about significance of the novel. Well, all about this novel reflected the rottenness and decadence of the Qing dynasty and inevitability of the end of a long-established feudal system. And the theme of this novel is embodied in this revolution. It is true, of course, that the main thread contains the love story of Qin Pao Yi and Lin Tai Yi, and the story told so touching and drew attention almost all the readers, shed sympathetic tears at the tragic ending of the story. The love tragedy lay bare the conflict and struggles between the two opposing political forces. One is defending feudal order and another side is fighting against the feudal force on the others. And the author explained the most part of the decline of the fourth family young generation. Each family are even worse than their elders. Some words can be described about them: indulgence, luxury, gambling, whoring, in short, incompetence. So let's move to the next slide. There, the author exposed the family excessive extravagance as the Qin family will soon suffer severe economic crisis. On the other hand, there are another reason that undermining, for instance, the endless dispute and struggle to control power of the family domestic affairs. In fact, the economic crisis is because peasants could not afford to pay usual heavy levy to Qin family. The levy included pigs, chickens, fish, deer, rice, and deer. In addition to the exorbitant land taxes and levies, the peasants also have to suffer from exploitation of high interest loan and commercial capital. In Grand View Garden, in order to gain more money or force made to have sex with their masters, a lot of servants, especially girl servants, have been killed or have been driven to commit suicide. About 400 characters were oppressed as slaves. Also describe this as tragedy with sympathy. So let's move to the last slide of this part. There were another great concern. The budding democratic ideology represented by Chiu Pao-yi is the hero of the novel. The future hope of the feudal Chia family are pinned on him. However, he ran counter to the volition of the Qing authority. First, Pao-yi looked down on the official. So, in this slide is regarding an exposure of the feudal patriarchal clan system. Its enormous political clout and omnipotent unlimited power is like that authority of the husband. The official protective charm is a key chapter to better understanding this concept. Hence, we learn that the local officials keep a secret list of the most powerful, wealthy, and high-ranking families in order to protect and flatter these families, even at the expense of law and justice, aiming to be promoted in their careers. This novel did not only denounce feudal patriarchal clan power, but in the declining fortunes of the four major families, the power represents the interests of the feudal rulers and aristocratic landlords. And I move to the next slide. Talking about the progressive real feudal forces. This novel provided many variety of conflict struggles, but the primary one is between progressive forces, rebel and feudal force, Lady Dowager, Chia Chen and Lady Wang, and it's mainly about love affairs and marriages, controversies among Chiu Pao-yi and Lin Tai-yi, and Xiu Pao-chai, Qin Pao-yi represent the progressive forces and in the failure due to vast differences in power between the two. The feudal forces gain the upper hand. Additionally, there is another aspect of the arranged marriage in their society during that era because it could support and provide mature benefit for the family. Marriage was not a matter of personal happiness. It was directly related to the fate of a clan or an aristocratic class. Okay, let's move to the artistic achievement. Okay, here this slide, the author expounded his principle of literary creation in the first chapter of the novel. In addition, the author upholds literary content based on fact and social reality. By his keen observation, he depicted typical circumstances and the decadence of aristocrats and feudal society and the oppression of innocent such as young girls, boys, and slaves. The author is very skillful in depicting characters who possess diverse individualities. Meanwhile, he is also very successful in adopting various approaches to depict varied characters based on social position. Moreover, Zhao Zhiqin, the author, also successful in his characterization due to placing character in specific atmosphere with suitable scene. Okay, let's move to the next slide. He also achieved great success as a writer who recorded detailed descriptions and gained more praise because of its artistic structure. It is much more rigorous and more complete novel. The author gives special attention to the plot of the love story between Pao Yi and Tai Yi, as well as the moral decline of Chia family. All in all, the novel is mature and refined for its language and figurative speech. Somehow it still have limitation for that novel. Again, I move to the slide talking about limitations. For this part, the author allows his aristocratic class to show feeling itself without being aware of the fact. Moreover, he describes the scenes of a declining feudal Chia family and expressed sorrow for the family demise. He depicted unfortunate people and tragic events in Chia family, full of sympathy, tinged with fatalism. In addition, the author failed to comprehend or explain Chia Pao Yi rebellious character. He simply looked upon Pao Yi as a love idiot. In the novel, there is the lack of definite ideals. As a consequence, the theme of nihilism is reflected in the novel. Okay, the last part talking about the conclusions. I would like to summarize. So in the conclusion, the novel is all about true love corrupted by external circumstances, family traditions, social barriers, and money. It's mainly condemned patriarchy. Most of the male figures are irresponsible, Lu goes for nothing, who betray and abuse their wife, concubines, and servants. But Pao Yi in exception this rule. Moreover, it also depicted the decline of the Chia clan, exemplifying the moral decay of the feudal class in 18th century in China, which was rife with corruption and nepotism, while the belief on Confucianism, Taoism, and Buddhism, the three main philosophical religious schools of thought in China, provided the moral and spiritual framework. However, the novel concentrated on Taoist approach of spiritual purity through abstinence. So I think this is it for my presentation. Thank you for your participation.